As I told you yesterday, that in a midpoint theorem, if you have a triangle, suppose you have midpoint of this given and midpoint of this given, A, B, C, and you have P, Q as the midpoints. Okay, we join this P and Q, then this straight line, according to all the conditions of midpoint theorem are satisfied because these two are midpoints. This P and Q are midpoints. Okay, so therefore, according to once all the conditions of midpoint theorem are satisfied, you can say that PQ is parallel to BC, and you can also say the length of PQ is half of the length of BC. In this triangle again, if you have two midpoints given, PQ, okay, and join these two. So all the conditions of midpoint theorem are satisfied. Again, in this triangle, these three are your A, B, and C. Again, here you can say PQ is parallel to BC, and you can say PQ is equal to half of BC. Similarly, here, if these two sides, midpoints of these two sides are given to you, PQ, and these two are midpoints, so these two are equal, BQ and QC are equal. Therefore, what can you say here? You can say PQ is parallel to AB, and you can say the length of PQ is half of the length of AB, the third side. Okay, so this is what midpoint theorem means. Yesterday I explained this to you. We'll see one example from midpoint theorem, a sum from midpoint theorem in this regard. Okay. So here, if you see this sum, in the figure, D, E, F are midpoints. The triangle in which these points are given to you as midpoints. This is a midpoint, so these two are equal. Okay, E and F. Okay, and these three are joined also with the help of a dotted line. Okay, so this is all these 3 points, midpoints are joined. Now, also given is that the length of AB is 6 centimeters. This length is given to you as 6 centimeters. BC is given to you as 4.8 centimeters, and CA is given to you as.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, very late good morning. Who's this?
Sir Ankita.
5.6 centimeters. All this length is given. Find the perimeter of the trapezium FBCE. Well, which one is the trapezium FBCE? This trapezium. You need to find out the perimeter of this trapezium. So how will you find out? Certain observation that you should make first of all. Okay. F is the midpoint and the length of AB is given. So clearly this is 3 centimeters and this is 3 centimeters. Right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
5.6, this entire length, and E is the midpoint. So this length is how much? 5.6 divided by 2. It is 2.8 centimeters. And this is also 2.8 centimeters, right? 4.8 centimeters is the length of BC, and D is the midpoint. That means this must be 4.8, this must be 2.4 centimeters, and this must be 2.4 centimeters. 4.8 divided by 2. Fine. So we've got all these lengths. Okay. And that is what I have done here in all these. Okay. Next, another important observation. If you consider triangle ABC, you see that F and E are midpoints of the sides AB and AC. So are the conditions of midpoint theorem satisfied? If F and E are given to be the midpoints of the sides of two sides of the triangle, are the conditions of midpoint theorem satisfied?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is satisfied because two midpoints are given to you and they are joined by a straight line. So all the conditions of midpoint theorem are satisfied. So in triangle ABC, F and E are the midpoints of the sides AB and AC respectively. Therefore, what can you say? If F and E are midpoints, what can you say about, what can you conclude from midpoint theorem? Can anyone tell me what you can conclude?
Sir, can I say?
Shikha, you don't say. I'll ask
Sir,
someone
I
else.
will say
Sneha Kumari. Fine, say. Go ahead.
EF is parallel to BC and
Hmm.
EF is half BC.
Yes, FE is parallel to BC and FE is half of BC. But what is the length of BC given? How much is it?
2.4.
4.8.
Sorry. 4.8.
So you have got the length of FE,
2.8.
right? So this is how much? 2.4. You've got the length of FE as 2.4. Similarly, if you see E and D are midpoints. E and D are the midpoints of the sides AC and BC respectively. So what can you conclude? Who can tell me what you can conclude? Devdatta, tell me if you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Say, what can you conclude?
Yes, sir.
Yes, tell me, try at least.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is your diagram. Now see.
Sir, form angle AF. No.
No question of angle here. Rabia, tell me, Rabia. Can't hear. Okay. Who was saying? Who wanted to say?
Sir, me, Naman.
Say, go ahead, Naman.
D parallel to FD.
Say again.
D is parallel to FD.
DE is parallel to which one?
And E is FD.
Your voice is cracking. Say again.
ED is parallel to FD.
FD. Why FD? DE must be parallel to this side. Right? So DE is parallel to BA.
FB.
DE is parallel to BA.
And it is half of DA.
And DE is half of How much is the length of BA given? You see the length of BA is given to be 6. So this is 3
6
centimeters.
centimeters.
Similarly, what can you say? D and F are also midpoints, right? So this side
Yes,
must be
sir.
parallel to this side, and its length must be half of that side, right? Similarly, applying midpoint theorem, similarly D and F are the midpoints of BC and BA. Respectively. Therefore, you can say that DF is parallel to CA and DF is half of CA. And what is the length of CA given here? 5.6,
0.6.
which is 2.8 centimeters, right? So all this you will give your reason also. You'll give your reason also here by midpoint theorem, as I have given here. If you see the statements there and at the side in the note, you will find this. You always have to write by midpoint theorem. Okay, by midpoint theorem. So now have you got all the lengths or not? You have got this length. You have got this length. You have got this length. Can you find out the area of the perimeter of this trapezium? So what is the perimeter of this trapezium? Perimeter of trapezium. What is the trapezium here? FBC, the red one that I have marked. FBC. What is the perimeter? C. First length is BC. So you write BC. Plus. What is the next side of this trapezium? BF is the next length. What is the next length? FE. And what is the next length? EC. What are the lengths here? BC. What is the length BC? 4.8. What is the length BF? BF is 3 centimeters plus FE. FE we found out to be how much? FE we found out to be, see here FE we have found out to be 2.4. And EC, this length is 2.8. Okay, so that is all. And this adds up to 13 centimeters. This is the perimeter of the trapezium. Okay, so simple enough sum. Next, the perimeter of triangle DEF. Which one is your triangle DEF? This triangle. This green one. What is the perimeter of this triangle? Do you know the length of FE? FE we have calculated here. See, FE is 2.4. So this length is 2.4, right? What is the length of FD? FD we have also calculated. See, yeah, DF. See, DF we have calculated to be 2.8. So this is your 2.8. And ED. What is the length of ED that we have calculated? Or DE? See, DE we have calculated here. DE is 3 centimeters. So this is your 3 centimeters. So now you can find out the perimeter of this triangle. Add up the lengths. You'll get the perimeter. Okay. So we move on to the next one. Next problem. And so converse. Not next problem. We move on to the converse. Now converse, you have to understand. This is a little converse. What do you mean by converse? You tell me. Do you know what you mean by converse? Converse means the opposite. Converse means just the opposite. If you remember in midpoint theorem, what was given? In midpoint theorem, it was given to you that these 2 points are midpoints, right? These two are midpoints, and you join them with the help of a straight line, and then you conclude by midpoint theorem that PQ is parallel to BC and PQ is half of BC. This time, just the opposite is given. What is the opposite given? This time it is given to you that P and Q are points. P and Q are points on this triangle ABC. But the difference is that P is the midpoint, but Q is not the midpoint. It is not given to you that Q is the midpoint. But additionally, one information is given to you that PQ is parallel to BC. Understood? So what two information is given to you? It is given to you that P is the midpoint of AB. And the next information that is given to you is that PQ is parallel to BC. So these two information is given to you. Okay, and you conclude. What should be your conclusion? According to the converse of midpoint theorem, your conclusion, once these two information is given to you, you can conclude that Q is the midpoint of AC. Is it absolutely clear? The difference between midpoint theorem and the converse of midpoint theorem? In midpoint theorem, both P and Q are given to be the midpoints, and you are concluding that the two sides are parallel and the length is half of the other, right? But here it's a little different. Different in the sense that only P is given to be the midpoint, and additionally it is given to you that PQ is parallel to BC. Then only you can conclude that Q is the midpoint of AC. So that is the difference between the midpoint theorem and its converse. Let us see a problem in this regard in order to illustrate the converse of the midpoint theorem. Look at this problem. A triangle is given to you here. Okay. Okay, this triangle is given, and it is given that D and E are midpoints. So this is A, B, and C. D is the midpoint of AB. So this is given to be your midpoint. And E is also the midpoint. So here clearly E here is given to be your midpoint. Okay. And DF is parallel to BC. So this line here, this line is given parallel to this line is given parallel to this line. Okay. So this line is DF. Okay, and okay, this much is given, and this is joined with the help of a dotted line. Okay, the question here is prove that DBEF is a parallelogram. That means this quadrilateral that you see here, you need to prove that it is a parallelogram. How will you prove? If I can show that what you observe first is that this side is parallel to this side. Okay, so that is no problem. Two sides are already given to be parallel. What do we have to show? If we can show that this side is parallel to this side, then we can say that it is a parallelogram. Can we say or not? If opposite sides of a quadrilateral are parallel, then can we say it is a parallelogram? Yes, by definition we can say. Two sides already given to be parallel. These two sides we are going to prove them to be parallel. So let's see how we move on, how we go about proving them to be parallel. Okay. How we move, go ahead and prove that these two are parallel. Now look at this very carefully. You see this D. D is the midpoint, right? Let me write first clearly. DF is parallel to B. This is given. Okay. And you see that D is the midpoint of AB. Right. Now from D, we are drawing a straight line here, DF, which is parallel. If I apply the converse of midpoint theorem in triangle ABC, can we say that F is the midpoint? D is the midpoint of AB and DF is parallel to BC. These two conditions, these two pieces of information are given to you. Now tell me, are all the conditions of converse of midpoint theorem satisfied? What were the two conditions here? Okay, I erased it. What were the two conditions for the converse of midpoint theorem? What were the two conditions? That one midpoint has to be given and the lines have to be given parallel. See, D has been given to be the midpoint of AB. This is the first condition that is satisfied. And also the line through D is parallel to the third side, BC. That means both the conditions are satisfied. So therefore, what can I say? By the converse of midpoint theorem, F is the midpoint of AC. By the converse of midpoint theorem. Right? So I've shown that F is the midpoint. Next, once I've shown that F is the midpoint, now consider F as the midpoint of the side AC. Right? And also it is given that this E is the midpoint of the side BC. Right? So F and E are midpoints of AC and BC. So therefore F and E are midpoints of the sides AC and BC respectively. Therefore, what conditions are satisfied? Which conditions are satisfied? Can anyone tell me which conditions are satisfied? If F and E are midpoints of the side AC and BC, then what the conditions of which theorem are satisfied? Sonam, can you tell me which condition of which conditions are satisfied?
Sir, midpoint theorem.
Midpoint theorem. Right?
Yes, sir.
So therefore, from midpoint theorem, what can I say? If F and E are midpoints of these two sides, then what can I say? What can I conclude? Tell me, Sonam, what can I conclude?
So telling. So then FE is parallel to AB and it is half of AB.
Exactly. FE, that means what it means is that these two sides have to be parallel. This side and this side, they are parallel. And the length of this side is half of the length of this side. That is by applying midpoint theorem. Therefore, FE is parallel to AB and FE is half of AB. Fine. This is by midpoint theorem. Okay. So we have shown that FE is parallel to DB, right? Therefore, FE is parallel to DB. So in the quadrilateral, DBEF, in this quadrilateral, these two sides are parallel. DF is parallel to BE. This was already given to you that these two are parallel. And we have shown in this way that the other two sides, FE and DB, are also parallel. That is, this one and this one are also parallel. And therefore, DBEF is a parallelogram. Very, very important problem. Proved. Next question, the second part of the question is calculate AC if AF is equal to 2.6. So length of this is given. Can you calculate this length? Can you calculate? Who will tell me? Deepika, tell me. Not there. Diana, tell me. You're not there. If you see, I have already shown that F is the midpoint of AC. So therefore, clearly, the length of AC must be double the length of AF.
Yes, sir.
That is what. So AC is double the length of AF. Why? Because since F is the midpoint of AC. That's it. What is the length given here? 2.6. This is 5.2. That's it. And the last, theorem on intercepts. It's a fairly easy theorem on intercepts. Okay, first let us define what intercept means. If you have two parallel lines, as I have drawn here, two parallel lines, say like these. Okay, and if you have a transversal, not parallel, two non-parallel, any two parallel lines. If you see this length that is between these two lines, the lines may not be parallel. If you see this length, this is called the intercept. If I call this line L1 and if I call this line L2, these are called the intercepts. This length is called the intercept between L1 and L2. In fact, if I call this line L3, then it is called the intercept of L3. Intercept of L3 between L1 and L2. Okay. So here I have forgotten to label, but this should be A and B. Okay, here. So that is what intercept means. Now, what about theorem on intercept? Theorem on intercept concerns three parallel lines. Okay. Okay. Sneha, can you hear me? Okay. Just a minute. Okay. Theorem on intercepts. The theorem states that if there are three parallel lines given to you, three parallel lines, at least three, okay, at least three parallel lines if they are given to you. Okay, and if you have a transversal through these three parallel lines, okay, such that these points, the intercept, this intercept AB, and this intercept, BC are equal. That is given AB is equal to BC for three parallel lines. Then this theorem states that any other line that cuts these three parallel lines, any other line, say another line that cuts here, okay, will also have equal intercepts. That is, if I call this length P, Q, and R, then PQ must be equal to QR. Okay, or you can have a line like this also. You can have a line like this also. Let us call this L, M, and N. Then LM will also be equal to MN. So if any one line is given to you that the intercepts are equal, for any one, then you can say that any other straight line that cuts these three parallel lines will also have equal intercepts. Okay, understood the statement of the theorem?
Yeah, I do not understand.
If suppose this line is L1, L2, L3, and this is L4. Okay, L1, L2, L3 are parallel, given parallel, and L4 is a transversal that cuts L1, L2, L3 at A, B, and C. It is given to you that this length, it is given to you that L4 cuts L1, L2, and L3 such that this length AB is equal to this length BC. Okay, this is given to you. Then what you can do is you can conclude that any other transversal that intersects these three straight lines, that is, say if I draw a line like this one L5, okay, if I draw this line L5, then I can say that PQ must be equal to QR. Or if I want to draw a line L6 like this, then I can say that LM must be equal to MN. Okay, you need only one straight line. If one straight line makes equal intercept, then any other straight line that you draw will make equal intercepts. That is what the point here is. Okay, so let us start with this problem. Maybe I'll finish this problem in the next class. Okay, so in this figure, it is given to you that L and M are parallel and G is the midpoint of CD. So this point G is given to be the midpoint of CD. That means this length is equal to this length, right? That means what can you say? That if these three are parallel lines, then the intercept, then this intercept must be equal to this intercept because G is the midpoint. That means if I am drawing this line will also in this must be equal to this because these two are equal, right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, if I am drawing this line, then this must also be equal to this because these two lengths are equal, right? So with this idea, this is the theorem of intercept that will apply here. Okay, so see here what I have written. Now see the question here. L, M, N are parallel and G is the midpoint of CD. Calculate AB. You need to calculate this length. Given that BC is 2.4. Now if BC is 2.4, obviously this will also be 2.4 because they are equal, right? From the theorem on intercepts, right or wrong?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Similarly, ED. You need to calculate the length of ED. ED is this length. If FD is equal to, that means this entire length is given. FD is 4.4. Now clearly, because these two are equal, these two will also be equal. And therefore this must be 2.2 and this must be 2.2. That's it, finished. Problem is done. Okay, is it clear to you or any doubts?
No, sir, clear.
Okay, so I stop here for today.